Chapter 14.
Morning dawned bright on the agency complex. Alex took a deep breath and glanced out of the windows as he walked down the hall. The first of coming suns hovered over the horizon, just visible behind the buildings surrounding them. The morning's light tinted the sky and buildings pink. A haze hung over the courtyard, shimmering gold from the morning sun. A hush hovered over the place. Only one or two agents wandered down the halls at this time of the morning. Most still slept in their cozy beds. Though Tajay padded close behind him, Alex only heard his own footsteps echo off the walls of the hall. He glanced at Tajay out of the corner of his eye. Amazing how such a big guy could walk so quietly. "Here we go." Alex approached the door. "This is the place we're supposed to meet Emily." He checked his data hub. "We're 10 minutes early. Maybe we'll look like professionals this time." Tajay grunted. Alex opened the door. "I got an invite. I got an invite to join a team, to join a team." Emily's song drifted into the air. She danced in the middle of the room. "I got on a team, yeah, shake it." She shook her blue pleated skirt. Alex stood, watching with a grin on his face. He couldn't interrupt the song and dance. "You sure you want that as our pilot, Taj?" Tajay pushed past him. He approached Emily with his silent tread. "Hello." Emily froze. She swung around and came face to stomach with Tajay. Hi." Emily's head tilted back as she looked up at his face. "Wow, you are tall." Alex chuckled to himself. He liked Emily's reaction to Tajay. Surprised without being rude. One mark in her favor. "I'm Tajay." Tajay held out his hand to Emily. Alex paused in his stride. Tajay never spoke to anyone but Alex if he could help it. And he certainly never volunteered to speak. "Emily Joyce, astropilot and star navigator at your service, sir." Emily saluted. "I am happy to be here." Tajay placed a hand on his chest. "First officer in medical tech." "You are?" Emily gazed up at him. "You sure look the part of a first officer. Big and imposing. No one would dare mess with the captain if you're behind him." She put her hands on her hips. "You're a graduate, aren't you?" Tajay nodded. "You're even bigger than they say." Emily pumped his hand. "It's nice to meet you. I've always wanted to see a real-life graduate. Now I get to be on a team with one." She clapped her hands over her mouth. "That's not bad for me to say, is it? It's not offensive?" Tajay smiled. "No." "Stop my heart and hold the presses." Alex clutched his chest. "The world must be ending. Tajay is smiling." Tajay grunted. He gave Alex a shove. "That hurt, Taj." Alex rotated his shoulder. "He doesn't always smile?" Emily kept gazing at Tajay. "Not often, and never with strangers." Alex swung his arm in a circle. "Watch yourself, big guy. I swear, you're like a kid who doesn't know his own strength." Tajay snorted at him. "Don't get all huffy." Alex shook out his arm. "Do you know what I think, Tajay?" Emily took his hands in both of hers. "You should smile more. It suits you." Tajay stiffened. He blinked at her, then nodded. A smile spread onto his face. Alex raised an eyebrow. Interesting. Tajay had never had this reaction with anyone else before. There must be something he liked about that Emily girl. "So, you're Captain Donson, aren't you?" Emily took Alex's hand in hers. "Nice to meet you." She pumped his arm up and down. "Alex Donson, team captain." He pulled his hand out of her grasp. "Call me Captain, sir, or for informal occasions, Alex. Don't call me by my last name. I don't like it." "Yes, sir." Emily saluted him. "May I say what an honor it is to be chosen as a part of your team. I've heard such amazing things about you." "Don't give me useless flattery. I don't like it." Alex flexed his hands. "As for you, Emily, I've, seen what you can do." "You're talking about the simulators, aren't you?" Emily rubbed the back of her neck. "It wasn't my best flying." "Clearly." Alex narrowed his eyes. "You failed 25 missions in a row. The same mission." "I know." Emily wrung her hands. "I do fine in basic missions, but when it comes to maneuvering, You suck." "Yeah." Emily hung her head. "If you knew all that about me, why did you choose me for your team? I'm the youngest in my section, and my simulator records aren't great. There must have been other people you could have asked." "I have no idea." Alex jerked a thumb at Tajay. "He picked you." "He did?" Emily turned to Tajay. "Why?" Tajay opened his mouth, then shut it. He turned to Alex. Don't look at me, Alex shrugged. I can't know what you're thinking all the time. Tajay bit his lip. His eyes roved over the room before he snapped his fingers. You failed your mission. My mission? In the simulators? Emily raised her eyebrow. You chose me because I failed? Tajay nodded. I... Emily fell silent. She turned to Alex. Alex shrugged. Most of the time I can't tell what's going on in his head. But come to think of it, I have a question about your performance yesterday, if you don't mind. Sure. We watched you while you flew through mission A26-4. Alex cleared his throat. Or I should say we watched you fail the mission over and over again. Emily forced a laugh. She tapped her index fingers together. It was simple to pass. Alex crossed his arms. All you had to do was jettison the cargo and launch the crew escape pods. The entire thing was straight out of a textbook. The mission was to ensure the crew's survival. Emily gestured with her hands as she spoke. The Emily craft came out of nowhere and refused to acknowledge any of our hailings. It shot at us without so much as a warning. The occupants of that vessel wanted us dead. If I had launched the crew, they would have been sitting ducks. There's no way I could have guided all of their escape pods out of the way before the enemy locked onto us. The only viable option was to run. But I haven't gotten the proper exit strategy yet. She fell into silence. Her eyes studied the ground. I'm close to figuring out. The next time I get in the simulator, I can pass. Tajay elbowed Alex. He motioned to Emily. Alex stroked his chin. He had forgotten to shave, and the hairs growing in scratched his fingertips. He glanced at Tajay. So you chose her for the team because she's able to take in large amounts of data, process it, and paint the big picture in an instant? Partly. Partly? Alex put his fists on his hips. What's the other part? Tajay opened his mouth to answer, then fell silent. You are infuriating. You know that? Alex turned up his nose. I'm not convinced she's good for our team. No, please, give me a chance. Emily clasped her hands. I can do this. She can. Tajay put a hand on Alex's shoulder. Trust me. I do trust you, Taj. Alex took a deep breath. We'll see if she deserves it. Oh, thank you. Emily pumped Alex's hand. I promise I'll do my best. You'd better. Alex pulled his hand out of her grasp. I won't accept anything less. Now we have one more team member. I know, Danielle. Emily bounced on her toes. She's so excited about joining your team. She was up all night researching grudges. She was? Emily nodded. She likes to prepare for our interactions, so she was looking up all sorts of information on grudges on our data hub. Not sure what his birth certificate or medical records have to do with protocol or culture, though. She tapped her chin. Oh, are you two brothers? You have the same last name. Foster brothers. Alex narrowed his eyes. What was Danielle doing researching Tajay's personal records? We came from the same orphanage at the same time and were taken in by the same family. I see. Alex bit his lips together. Looks like I'm going to have to nip this in the bud. What do you mean, Captain? Emily tilted her head to the side. Never mind. I'll submit this team for approval. We'll start training tomorrow. I will warn you, though, Emily. I am a taskmaster. By the end of these 3 months, you will hate me. Alex leaned in closer to her. The more you hate me, the better I like it. Emily's mouth dropped open. She gulped. Okay. Alex gave her a grin before heading to the door. Let's go, Taj. Tajay remained with Emily. Coming, Taj? Alex stood at the door. I want to talk. Tajay pointed to Emily. Alex paused. Okay, then. He pointed down the hall. I'm going to file this paperwork so we can get started. Tajay nodded. Alex took one last look at Tajay over his shoulder before heading down the hall. Strange, he couldn't remember Tajay leaving Alex alone of his own accord. Emily must have something amazing hidden inside of her, something only Tajay could see. The same thing happened the first time he and Alex met their foster parents. Tajay took right to them, and they turned out to be the best thing that could have happened to Alex during such a confusing time. Alex ran his hand through his hair. Let's hope Tajay was right about Emily as well.